Good evening, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Welcome to Late Night Drives, the podcast where we get deep. We talk about mental health, things that are on our mind, and open up a lot more than we should.
Indeed. I'm your host, Sebi.
And I'm your host, Josh. And
Hey
today,
guys, welcome in.
you see a third person on the screen, or if you're listening in the audio. There's another person
We
here.
already got a guest
We
as
already have a guest as promised. We stay with our promises. I don't want to introduce them. I'll let them introduce themselves, but this has been cooking for years.
This has been cooking for years. This is our long-term friend. Known him for 7 or so years.
7 plus years. Yeah.
8 years probably now. 7 plus years, 8 years, something like that. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All that matters is that we've known each other forever. But
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, guys. I am EdoNinja. I am the CEO of the Phantom Visionaries and such, and I am here with my wonderful, amazing, lovely friends, Sebastian and Josh. Bless them both as always.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's been a long time coming. If we would just want I just want to say quick before we get into it. The three of us have been, oh my God, in it for a while.
Yeah.
We've been in this for a while.
We've had our sagas. We've had our arcs.
We've had our sagas. We've had our saga. Yeah.
Do you want to, I guess, quickly explain like how we met, how all of us met, actually, I guess, or how Edo, how you met the two of us.
Yeah, we can start into that
because it's where it is now.
It's a big topic of conversation today. So yeah, let's get
started.
started.
For those of you guys that are curious, our topics for today, the first primary one is going to be about online friendships and or relationships. So this is just a good way to start, just how we met.
Yeah. So I've noticed for what you guys are about to hear, I'm usually like the source of a lot of things from the outside and the inside and stuff like that. I'm usually like that kind of like network circle. I'm just gonna put it that way. Yes. So let me start off with Seb first, because I met him first, and then after that I met Josh next. But I met Seb through Blue Kokiri stream, and he was like a co-host here for a time and time, and after that I checked out his channel when he actually had a different alias at the time. Oh man, that takes me back memories. Oh my goodness. It was a lot of the Nintendo streams and stuff like that, and I was just like, hey, you know what? You're cool. And I decided to be around and somewhat be annoying in the process, but I had to make my presence known and all that stuff. So
indeed.
It was bound to happen, and
and this was 2014, right, or something like that.
Oh my!
Late 2014 that we met.
So this would be. So I was at the time I was 12.
Holy shit!
And then you were what? 15.
I should have been 16 at that point.
16,
maybe 15 or 16. Yeah.
I forget what our age gap is, but yeah, that's how it is with online friends. Is that sometimes you just there's an age gap.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's like, and then, oh my God, Edo would probably know so much better about how we met than I do, because my memory's just garbage.
I have not forgotten.
Trust me, I haven't either. But
like, because I started hanging around with Seb streams a lot. And then after that, you also had a unique alias at the time. That was a title.
Okay.
That was a title. But yes, I remember there was this one particular stream, because Seb, he used to do speedrunning back in the past, and I used to see Josh there a lot. And I'm gonna say this boy was wild. He was extremely wild. Take that as you will.
Take that as you will.
But, yeah, take that as you will, but no, he was actually a really cool guy, became a moderator for Seb and stuff, and then started hanging around with me, and
now we're all here.
Now we're here, and it's funny because even with all of our arcs combined and such, there has been some history that we all have shared, and I didn't think it was gonna happen, but we've had our episodes.
We've had our episodes. Now, if we just want to like how this ties us all together, because Edo and Sebi has both mentioned it. I'm going to tell this story one last time on how me and Sebi met, because that's the connector here.
Go ahead. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Want to take the reign on that?
Sure. So back in
I'm just going to
get the year wrong, so correct me on the year. 2015? or 16.
16.
It was 2016. Yeah. So 2016, I'm browsing Twitch. I'm having a good time. I come across, Sebastian's stream. He streamed on Twitch as a kid. He still does now. Insane that we're still here. I decided to hit him. I was like, oh, he looks my age, whatever. I'm gonna, say hi to him, whatever. And I just like infiltrated myself into the, I joined his Discord at the time.
Yeah.
I was friends with all
And
of his online
and
friends.
that time I used to go in Discords more because
Oh yeah.
it was like a very like much smaller community, and also I had more time. I just had more
Yeah.
time. I was a young guy. We were
And
both young. Josh and I are the same age, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
If you're curious.
so that was
We're
like
both 21.
2016. So that was a long time ago now. And
Yep.
ever since like watching his streams, I got into his Discord more. We talked more. We found similar interests. Blah 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 blah. And now we're here.
Yeah.
It's been 6, 7 now years later, and we're all here still chilling, and we met. It's crazy to say because
In
it's
fact,
like
fun fact, guys.
Hit me.
So Josh and I were together. No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
whoa.
We met.
Okay, that's a start.
So the first time we met in person finally was 2019.
Yeah.
We had
When I
a
visited,
vacation to Chicago when I was living in Chicago at the time because that's where I'm from. And then come 2020 there was the pandemic, and that was the year that our first year of college. So I go to school here in Los Angeles. I'm an aerospace engineering student here at the University of Southern California, and then Josh is a film student at
Hi.
DePaul University in Chicago.
Woo, woo.
At the time, with COVID regulations and everything
both
was
of our
online.
schools were
Yes.
online at
Both
the
of our schools
time.
were entirely online. I know some schools weren't like online, like they had people like going in and stuff, but we were fully online, USC as well as DePaul. And so I was just at home, and we had a spare guest room, and Josh was like, you know what, I want to get out of
I was like, I can't
the
stay home
house.
anymore. That was
Yeah,
pretty
and
much what it was.
I want to get like a kind of I guess like a
Just like a different experience.
semblance of a
Yeah.
college experience, but it wasn't really it was more like just like a let me leave the house experience, right?
Yeah.
And so he lived at my place. Since I'm only child, there was no like if and or buts about it, like nothing too crazy.
His
And my
parents were
are-
way too kind to let this, at the time, like complete stranger, pretty much just.
My parents are
waltz into
angels
the
on
house.
this earth.
They really are angels on this earth. And they let me stay there for like a whole year.
Whole year, yeah. And
And
he did pay a little bit of rent,
I
but
did.
it wasn't anything. And
You
it
know.
wasn't anything crazy to like. It's
You don't
like
make
it's like
up for
half
it.
of what he pays now.
yeah, oh my god, yeah. But it was just like, it was funny. They, they let me into their home. Me and Sebi got a lot close, and it's just interesting to say, like, that's what we're going to talk about today, is just like internet friends and relationships and friendships and stuff like that, is how all this pretty much started off the internet, and how like we're just so close, like
And also
we've been here
that's-
for so long.
Indeed. Also, like that's how kind of this concept of late night drives initiated, because when him and I would have,
True.
when I'd be going through shit or he'd be going through shit, we'd be like, all right, talk about this, and then we'd hop.
We'd hop in
on
the
a
car.
drive.
We'd hop
We'd
in the
hop on
little
a
car.
drive.
We'd get some music late night, and just kind of clear our minds, talk about it, do whatever.
Exactly, and it was very cathartic.
And it was very
So-
cathartic, and we thought, we'd bring this to the pod, and we bring some guests to share their stories. So that's why we have Edo here, because he's
Yeah.
gonna, tell us a little bit about, like his perspective on this
Right.
topic, stuff like that. So
And
don't know.
I guess Edo, do you want to talk about kind of what you do right now? You're
Yeah.
25 now, correct?
I will be this October.
wow.
I know. I don't look my age, and I'll forever be eternally grateful by that. I just hope that doesn't change anytime soon, because I don't want to look that old yet. But the appearances can be very deceiving. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But anywho, so as you guys heard, I am the CEO of the Phantom Visionaries. Basically, it is a multimedia content business. Basically, if you know like Rooster Teeth and OTK Network, that's basically the direction of what the Phantom Visionaries is. And of course, for what PV does, we usually call Phantom Visionaries short for PV. So in regards of PV, basically we do that, and we also do branding business as well. So we basically work with other agencies and such that are partnered with us, And of course, we're very selective as to who we help out in terms of the content creations. And we do have some posts that are coming out in terms of our branding work. So you guys get to actually see for how creative our team is. Our main message for in terms of PV, basically, we just want content to be good again without any form of like the most without drawbacks as much as possible. Because as you guys have seen, like some of the medias and such that you guys are probably like most interested in, there's usually some type of drawback one way or another. We want to spread that message in terms of like, no, we can do this, and we don't want this to be corrupted by greed and power and stuff like that. And of course, this is just me being extra about it, though. But I would like to make it aesthetically pleasing as much as possible because, well, nobody likes to read these days. So make sure you guys got the eye candy, eye candy content.
Absolutely.
Right.
But yeah, no, I started PV last year, February 22nd, 2022. So I would not be able to start the business without me being an art director for an esports company that recently fell. So yeah, no, that was fun. It was quite the journey.
That's a loaded one.
Yeah, it's some spicy hot tea for that one though. But that's like basically the short that I'll put it for this podcast. But yeah, no, I went through a whole journey for my alias as EdoNinja, and of course that PV has always been a dream ever since I started around 2013, 2014, around there. I just had a very particular articulate plan, and some things did happen out of order, but hey, it's okay. We are here right now. And of course, I was blessed to meet some good friends and stuff like that, have some powerful connections and stuff like that. And would not be here without you guys, literally, especially with the two here. So,
you're too sweet.
It's great to hear.
But yeah, so that's like the main thing connecting, the three of us is that we all met each other on the internet. And I think especially like, oh my God, I feel like it's honestly not as prevalent now, but it's just like, it's crazy how like our relationships have evolved from being strictly like, online, like just in front of our computers. It's kind of insane.
Yeah. So, I still have not met Edo in person. We'll be meeting each other in person for the first time in TwitchCon.
That's so crazy.
This fall. But Josh and Edo have met each other in person. Do you guys want to talk about that? Like how that came to fruition? How
that
you
was
guys
that was such a fluke because that wasn't even supposed to happen. Isn't that crazy? You know what's funny? I like remember that like really vividly.
This was what, 2017?
I think it was
2017. This happened. Yes.
It was 17.
Yeah.
What was this? It was PAX?
It was PAX East.
It was PAX East, yes.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
This is by the way, guys, for those who don't know, PAX East is a gaming tech convention. So yeah.
So for how that happened, yeah. So of course I already know by Josh's presence at that point, and I was just about like, actually, yeah, I was just about 18 years old, and Josh, you were like what? 15,
oh my God, it was like 15, 16.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, you were like 15, 16, and it's crazy because like, yeah, no, this 15/16-year-old was taller than me when I met him at PAX, and
that's so true.
I'm very sure if this is not well known, I'm very sure I am 5'4".
It's okay, we can't tell from the camera. It's all right.
Yeah, I know.
But... Okay, guys, we're all short kings.
All short kings.
Yeah.
None of us are over 5'11". All good. All good.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's okay. You're right though. But I was not able to meet Josh and Friday or Saturday, but like Sunday was like the only time that I was able to like find him. And I remember this. He made me walk, or should I say run, around the goddamn
convention. I couldn't find this man. I couldn't find him. He couldn't find me.
Why don't you guys just like agree on like let's go meet at like the food court or like something?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Here, that's the crazy part. We did.
And
then I will find out that he moved somewhere else, and I'm just like, brother, if you don't stay in one place,
it was my fault.
My boy couldn't keep.
It was totally my fault.
That's hilarious.
I am doing my best to run like the wind, even though I'm on my last legs here. I am running like the wind, and from what I've been told, even though I'm so sure, it's not that hard to miss me.
No.
Because I'm wearing like a flashy trench coat,
That is
all
true.
that sort. And I had some very nice flashy boots on and
This
such.
guy
so it's
does
like,
have really nice fashion sense, but very unique,
So
very
true.
good fashion sense, very
Thank
fashion
you.
forward.
Thank you. But yes, no, I was all like flashy for the days that I was there at PAX. So I'm just like, where are you? I swear to God, if I find you, I'm gonna break your glasses. I
true.
swear.
No, I know.
On God, but I found him near the console play area. So yeah,
True.
that was fun and such. And I was just like, oh wow, you're actually taller. And I can't imagine what's gonna be like if I see you again next time because I know you've grown.
And that was
much
it.
more.
And that was funny because that was the first and so far last time that I've seen this man in person, where we like met up at this convention. It was crazy to try and meet him. I didn't even know if I was even going to PAX at the time. It was kind of like a last second thing with my like old middle school buddies, high school buddies.
How much were the tickets?
We
I don't know,
all
I've
see
never been to
that.
PAX.
I remember I didn't have to pay a single dime because I
Okay,
went with
that's
my
that's
friend's
awesome.
dad. You remember
I paid
Avon?
Oh yeah.
I
Because
went with
his
his
dad
dad
is
because
a game
he's a
developer.
game
isn't he?
developer. So we
Wow.
went for free. It was like like 2 or 3 of us that went, and his dad. But it was kind of fluke. I don't know. I think it's so crazy because like I think about like like me and Edo, me and Sebi, the 3 of us. It's just so crazy that the amount of like like we've grown over these years and how much shit we've been through, like all together, like either intertwined, like you even mentioning like the holy fuck Phantom Visionaries, like kind of like gives me like flashbacks of before that. And
Yeah,
the shit
no.
we've been through, like we've been through so much stuff together, and you were like, we still are. You were telling me and Sebi, the stuff that's like going on, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like that's what like hits me, like how deep our friendship has gone, like just from like literally connecting over a screen, and now we're just kind of
But
here.
I think what kind of unites all of us is because fine, yeah, we all play games, right? We're all kind of in that sphere, but we all play different. We all have different genres of games that we're like really, really into, right? So that wasn't the uniting thing. The uniting thing, I think, is that we're all very creative people, the 3 of us. So like in whatever respect that we want to do. So at the time, very early on, it was just streaming and making YouTube videos. All 3 of us, okay?
All 3 of us
But
did that.
it eventually evolved to I still stream here and there, but I do it less now. Obviously, I'm doing more of like, the podcast. I'm making like longer scale YouTube videos and also doing music. And then Josh, he's got his filmmaking and photography. And then Edo, he got a whole ass company. And obviously, Edo's been a
Got our
graphic designer
company.
for a very long time.
Since I've known him. A
Actually, that's another thing
godlike graphic designer at that.
That's facts. That's facts. A lot of our art that you'll see us use, some of it is made by him. So a lot of when this podcast used to be Mutual Leeching, a lot of the old Mutual Leeching branding was him. So yeah. But also, what was I gonna say? Edo and I. So I used to be a graphic designer as well. So I think Edo and I also bonded over that back in the day. So yeah,
We did.
there's just a lot of overlap, not always the same thing, but that's like it's just like that's the thing with online friendship is that like I feel like you kind of unite under one overarching thing since you guys don't see each other all the time, but since you're able to like kind of sit and call all the time, then you guys can almost foster like a deeper connection in terms of understanding each other's interests and what they sort of like and dislike. Because you have to, like, there's no physical manifestation, or like you can't like conceptualize them physically, so you have to come up with something else in your head to like be like, this is my homie, what makes him my homie, sort of thing.
Now that you brought that up, there is actually something that I actually just thought of that I think that there's a lot of the huge misconception. I don't think it's a huge misconception now these days, but I just remember like this was a big thing back then, like back in in the prime of our era. But
Real.
Some people believe that some friendships are formed because of basically our social status and our numbers and such, when that could not be further from the truth,
Oh my
especially in our
god,
case like that.
heck no.
Like between for Seb and Joshua, I have pretty much like the a pretty large following.
Yeah.
But even with that, like I started from somewhere just the same as they did, and we all end the exact same way. So it's like that's never changed at all. And of course, like, you know, even with like I have my new connections, I have like made new bonds and stuff like that here and there. I have never ever forgotten about these two. And even though that like
Absolutely.
we've always are like we've had our episodes to where we've been out of touch, but we always come back
Real.
because
Exactly.
we just had that bond, especially for like what we fought for so long, and especially for like the times that like, especially for I could confidently say this for Seb and my case, but especially to when we used to like stream a lot back then in the days and such. There was a lot of behind the scenes with other content creators, and especially for viewers, and especially for viewers that became our moderators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There were times where like it actually intertwined between the both of us, and that's why it's like, no, we can't have this, and especially
Exactly.
that like there are people that try to tear us apart, and it's like, no,
No.
not after for
absolutely not.
everything that like we've
Mm-mm.
formed and what we've actually like worked towards for. So no.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that. Especially like the two of you. I was like, you said obviously it's like the two of you had like most of the problems. I'm just there like defending like both of y'all. I remember like the shit y'all went
this
through,
was
and I'm
a-
just like,
this was a
appreciate
whole,
that, yeah.
whole thing, dude. back
oh
in the
my
day.
goodness, I know. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
I
like that's
think-
another reason like why we bond, like especially like the two of you, like we just
Yeah.
bonded so much. It's just like the shit y'all went through, and like we talked about and discussed and had to work through. Like holy cow, we were so. I feel like not as much anymore, especially like me. But we were so on like present online. Like we were
Yeah,
so present online.
We were.
And I think that was also a result of like, I mean, we were younger, right? So like we didn't have much else to do, or like, like we had high school and stuff, and like, but the thing is, we had a lot more free time. Like nowadays, I'm always, I work from home, but it's still like, I have stuff to attend to, and like I have
Yeah.
college work, and then Josh, you're on set all the time, and
Holy cow,
Neto's
yeah.
building his company up. So it's like we have actual adult responsibilities now, and that's also the thing that sort of transforms with as we've gotten older is there like Edo mentioned, there are times when we don't speak for many months at a time to each other, but that doesn't mean that like we've lost any strength in our bond. It's like we'll pick it back up just as we used to.
Oh
It
my
went-
God,
like it
yeah.
went from talking like every day to like it's maybe
Every so
months at a
often.
time, and that's fine because we just update each other on what's going on with our lives and stuff. That's how it is.
And
It's
especially,
the same
like,
thing with like, I don't know if you, I guess like a good tangible thing would be like if an old friend from like, I don't know, maybe your grade school or like early high school, and now you're like, let's say you're now like 25 and you guys pick back up, and if you truly were good friends, then the conversation is just gonna flow as if there was never that time in between. And it's the same thing with us. It's the exact same thing with the online sort of relationship, friendship.
also like again, like even especially that the trust is established there. Like if one of us needs each other, like we will create the time as fast as possible for like
Mhm.
Seb and Josh did that for me recently. As I have not had a pretty year this year, but even for the time that we have not spoken and such, they were there, and that's
Right.
honestly that sometimes you just need, and
Mhm.
I can't be any more internally grateful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember like, oh my God, what was it? A couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
maybe a month ago or something. It was just like, it's been like, I have this issue like what you were talking about where it's like, you go a while and like, yeah, it's okay to go a while without talking to people. Like there are people from like, back home I haven't talked, to for like months, many months. And my problem is a lot of the time, like I forget to reach out, and it's just like I'm so caught up in everything and I'm doing, and I'm really just like, oh, I gotta focus on me, I gotta focus on what I'm doing, I gotta focus whatever. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, like they're always going to be there in the back of your head, and my problem is always like doing that and reaching out and being like, hey, it's been a while, how's it going, what are you up to, how's life, I want to know how you're doing, how you're feeling, if you need anything, stuff like that. And I felt bad because like me and Edo talked like a couple of weeks ago, and I realized when I was texting, I was like, holy shit, it's been like a year. It's been like over a year since I've talked to this
That
man.
long.
But on the bright side, I got on the phone with this man.
Yup.
We talked, and it was like like a 3-hour phone
It was a
call.
2 to 3 hour story,
It's
which
like-
I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
still so
no,
sorry about
that's
that.
no, don't apologize at all. That's why I was there. I wanted to listen and hear you and, be there for you and all that stuff. But it was just crazy because it was like a 3. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining at all. I was like, that's just like how it was, like it was, a year or so of us not talking. And it was just like, picked up the phone, was there for, 3 whatever hours, listening to you, talking it out, giving you, like advice, catching, you catching up to me really, which was so nice. And it's just like, that's what Sebi was saying. It's just like, after all this time, it's just like, we still connect. It still happens. We're still always going to be there for each other. Like there are few people in this world where I will drop anything. Like they text me and then like they need me, I will drop pretty much anything. And it's like,
Same here.
These people on the screen are a few of them,
Yep. Same
it's
here.
like,
I agree with that.
100%.
There's something I wanted to ask you guys and tell me your thoughts on this. So I think one part of, at least for us, since we've been more online based for a good portion of our lives.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's more so now, like a lot of people are getting into it now, like because of pandemic and then post-pandemic, whatever, work from home, etc. But we've always, we were early adopters of Discord. We used to be on Skype, things like that, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So, but I think as a result of that, it's easier for us to catch up because it's just like, oh, I'm already on my computer. Let's just hop on Discord and send a message and see what's going on. Right? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I feel like it's easier because I also have had that problem where I almost forget to reach out and I feel really awful, but
God,
it's something I'm working on.
Awful.
It's something I'm working on to really like for the people that I deeply care about to make the effort to, speak to them and catch up with their lives, what's going on. And then like I said, with the Discord, with being on Discord and just online in general, it's just like a quick Twitter DM away or a quick x.com. No way. Trolling. Never that.
Anyways.
Quick Twitter DM away or a quick Discord DM away. So yeah, what do you think?
I just did a lot of talking. If you want to go, Edo, feel free.
You sure?
Yeah, go crazy.
Okay. Wow.
You're our guest. You're our guest after all.
Our guest of honor.
Fair enough. I respect that. So, here's the thing. I'm sure that especially for the people here on this screen, and especially for some people that I hear with the chat, there's this dynamic that everyone shares with me. And everyone can attest to this. I will not get a single no.
This is funny.
I will never get a single no on this. However, that said, I've always expressed to people, especially the ones that I actively talk to, and I will make it clear. If I don't say it to you, then I'm sorry, you're not at that level with me. But anyways, if you need me, if there's anything that like you possibly need from me, emotional support or business work and stuff like that, I'm always there. And in my case, I go through a lot of DMs every day. Like, say for example, like Josh, he will send me a message, like he'll send me a message. Give it 2 hours. He will be at the bottom of my list. So
that's
fast.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Mans is doing so much business.
I had to actually like scroll or type for his name because that's how many messages that I get in a day.
Oh.
Twitter, not so much, but
Yeah.
Discord, yes, because most of my business are conducted there, and some personal stuff as well. But even though I get a lot of messages, here's the thing: if we're not doing any business together, everybody never has a good feeling whenever I DM first.
So true. Oh my.
Yep.
That is true.
It's so funny.
It's so scary because me and Seb have both done this. It's like Edo, will text us, DM us, whatever first, and we're just like, oh shit, what happened? What the fuck? Are we in trouble?
Did I fuck up? Did I mess up this time?
It's like either there were two. There's usually two thoughts running through our head with this guy when he would DM us. It's either did we fuck up, what did we do, or who the fuck are we going after, or the two thoughts that we had running through.
Now it's funny because it's like like if I DM, it's usually not a good sign though. But like there are times where I'm just like I would message him out of the blue. And then they'll just be like, oh, God. And I'm like, what? I didn't even say anything yet. I didn't.
No.
But no, I remember Sebastian's reaction specifically because there was a time where, like I think, like, he just had, like, his Discord list open. And like there was a time that he literally was just watching me type before I even said hello or hi, and then he was just like, "Oh my god, I have anxiety. I have to watch you type and see if I did something or not." And I was like, "Wait, you're not in trouble." But I will say this though: if you are in trouble, believe me, I will make it crystal loud.
Oh,
and
he
clear.
makes it
You will know.
crystal clear.
You will know.
But it's no, it's good. It's funny. It's funny every time. So I appreciate it.
But yeah, no, but in my case, like I'm usually responsive and stuff like that, which maybe I should probably work on not being that because here's the thing, like I'm always there for people, for people being there for me, not saying that nobody isn't though, but it's because that like I take a lot of my energy to like be there for like doing two things at once, personal side and business side. My social energy and the way of how I'm feeling, I get drained out so fast.
Oh, so true.
And of course, like my circle of friends, they
sure.
always like called me out on this. They're just like, "You keep neglecting yourself." And it's just like, "Hey, what's up? You're too quiet and such." And yeah, no, if I'm too quiet, that kind of might be a sign, even in like DMs too. So usually people get a little bit concerned of that though, which at times I try like I'm not that type of person to like leave someone on red. But if I do, yeah, no, then you deserve that one. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to hold that out. You have to hold that out. And
That's
it takes
interesting.
A lot. It takes a lot out of me to do that because I'm used to people doing that to me. But the other way around, I just never get that energy. And if that happens, it's like, well, bye. You you pissed off the wrong guy.
See, that's crazy.
Interesting to me.
I was gonna say because I have the opposite problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, I have the opposite problem. So it's like, you're getting so many messages where it's like, you need to be like, you need to say no, and you need to be like, oh, I need to take time for myself. Your problem is you need to take time for yourself, and you need to stop responding to these. The problem I have here is, and I think maybe Sebi's also like has the kind of the same problem, is like, it's like, yeah, first, for film work and school and business stuff, it's like I get a fuck ton of messages, and it's like, especially like because I'm on sets all the time, I'm communicating with a lot of fucking people. And at the time, it would flood my phone. Like, that's the issue, where it would flood my phone, and people would, as you were saying, kind of similar problem, where you were like, oh, it's people you care about, and the personal stuff is getting drowned out. But even before that happened, and I was, getting really into the film industry work and the business side of stuff, I would still just like straight up forget. It's like, it's actually funny. My older sister, I want to just shout her out real quick. I'm going to throw her under the bus. I love throwing people under the bus on the podcast. Is in the chat right now, and she did say,
this is like a thing where it's like, how many times does Josh say, "I'm gonna throw him under
I'm
the
gonna
bus"?
throw someone under the bus
in the episode,
and it's never like me actually like shitting on you or throwing you under the bus. I'm just name dropping you is pretty much it. She said, she was like, I'm so glad that like who I work for my remote job is my boss, but also a family friend of ours. She was like, I'm glad that you got hired because now we talk a bit. I have such a terrible, like, that's my problem, is I have such a terrible problem with reaching out to people and being like, hey, what's up? How's life doing? I know it's been a minute, where it's like, I don't want to say no. I just forget to even reach out to like get any of that information. So it's like for her, I maybe haven't talked to her like, in between like, like work stuff and whatever, and be like, oh, how's it going? Dude, it's been like radio silence. And it's like, I told my mom this the other day too. It's just like, I'm so busy where it's like, I don't take that time to reach out to people and be like, hey, how's it going? If I haven't spoken in like 6, months, even pushing maybe like a year even, where it's like, oh, I haven't said hi, because it's like, I just like, that's another problem I have. I feel like I'm turning into a workaholic. It's just where I'm like going, where it's just like, I just don't, when I have that second to myself, the second that you want, Edo, like that time you want to yourself, I completely spend it by myself, right? It's like, I just like shut down. I want to do nothing except just like be by myself and it's just like, I feel so bad because it's like, someone will reach out to me after like 4, 5 months, be like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I do this thing where it's like, I'll read it. And because I'm in that 30 seconds, that time for myself, I'll be like, oh, I'll get to this later. And then I never do, That's the problem. That's the problem I have. And I feel so bad. It's like, I want to reach out to people, and I feel like I don't know. I think I'm gonna go on a ramble with this and lose my point. But it's just like my point is I have the opposite problem where it's just like I feel bad for not reaching out to people sooner, and then the months go by and they reach out to me and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot and I feel really bad. It's like what I did to you, Edo.
Oh, brother, that
I
talk
know.
about a dynamic duo right there.
Yeah, but what's good is though is like you've recognized that and like you're actually reaching out now. You know
I
what
try my
mean?
hardest. I try my hardest. It's just like. Yeah, I try my hardest, and my sister's right. She's like, I was really just throwing myself under the bus for that one. I was really just throwing.
Also, you got the 2 phones now.
See, this is. I'm gonna mention this once and only once because I feel like I don't mean to. It's like I don't know. Anywho, that's what I did. I was like, you know what? I got so sick of like because if you look at like film when I'm on a film set or whatever, like again, I'm talking to like the producer, the director, people on set, usually because I have a rarity in college. I have a car at college. I'm carpooling people around. So I got to talk to people on set like, oh, where am I picking you up? Do you want coffee this morning? Blah, 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 blah. If I'm a PA, I'm talking to like other people. I'm like, what do you want? Where am I going? Where am I running? Blah, 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 blah. And it drowned out people that I care about. And then it wasn't even the point to where it was like, oh, I forget to text you. It's just like, unironically, you get lost in a flood of messages like you were talking about, Edo. It's like the business side just pops up. So I finally took it into action because I was like, I think after this summer I'll be on like 5 or 6 sets just this summer, or like even in this just like past month and a half. I'm just like, I cannot deal with this. I do not want the person, the people I care and love about and want to keep in touch with. I don't want them getting lost with me talking to 50 100 people on sets and like one-offs. So I literally got a work phone. I bought a phone like super cheap at Best Buy, put a number on it, and I'm just like, this is gonna, because it's like I said this and I was like, I can't mentally sort it out, like see the messages and like sort it out. I was like, that's it. I was like, I have to physically sort this shit out now.
Which low key that makes you realize that Apple needs to have like, or iMessage, I guess just both, right? Needs to
Any
have
messaging,
like
yeah.
any
Google
messaging app
Messages
needs
doesn't
to
have it either.
They have to find a way where you could just like categorize your messages.
Oh, that would be awesome. And of course they're gonna come out.
So much.
They're gonna come out with that, after I did this whole thing.
Shit, why did I say that? That's my $1 million idea.
That's your $1 million, dude.
Oh no!
They're gonna take it. No, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, Sebi. You can maybe touch on this if you want, but I just feel like so bad because obviously there are people that I would lie across a train track for, and it's just like I feel bad when I don't reach out and talk to them and just be like, hey, just checking in. I know it's been a while. I want to see what's up. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll speak on that. So I've been fortunate enough to have a bit of a happy balance because in the aerospace world, a lot of it's not like so my play and my work are very, very like separated. Okay. And you'll find that like I don't talk about my work on like socials much. I don't talk about it like on stream much other than the occasional haha, I'm an aerospace engineer, right? So I don't run into the problem like Discord is like entirely just friends for the most part, right? And then for like my phone, it's the same thing. I have a couple coworkers and like my project administrator that I like will text, but normally all correspondence that I do is with emails because all the industry professionals that I've worked with, that I've spoken to, that's how it goes. It's like it's through email and it's through a specific like I don't do any of the correspondence on my personal email. I do it through my school email because that's the most professional looking email I have right now, right? So it makes the compartmentalizing part of it easy. Now, I still had that problem though when it came to like reaching out to people. I don't know why. I honestly don't even have an excuse to it. I was just bad at it, right? But what I've really appreciated recently is that my friends in my major, my aerospace major, they're very a lot of my friends say I'm extroverted, but they're like they take my level of extrovertedness and like it's like double, triple. Okay. They're like really they're always like itching to go outside, itching to hang out, itching to do something. And I really appreciate that they always reach out. They always like text in a group chat or they're always like, yo, Seb, come on, let's do this, that. And sometimes I say no. A lot of times I say no because I have other things I'm doing or I want to do, or like I need to recoup, But no matter what, without fail, every time they'll ask me to go out, and that's what I deeply, deeply appreciate. And same thing with like my housemates. Same thing. They would always like, they're more introverted, but if ever we're just like bored and chilling, we'll just like go into the living room and just hang out and relax. And it gives me like a semblance of like, let me take a step back from the grind that I've been doing, from like the work, the school, and let me just be present with the people that I care about. And then also, same thing with my friends back home. Like there's someone watching right now, my boy David, person I've been friends with for a long time, since like freshman year of high school. He always reaches out, and I'll do my best to like respond to him like as soon as possible. But no matter what, if I'm like bad at like, if I like reach out to him in a few months, without fail, I know there's a message coming, and like every time there's a message coming, I feel terrible because I'm like, shit, I haven't texted him in a minute. Or like a few of my homegirls that are gonna be on the show like a few weeks from now, same thing, you know. There's one friend in particular. She is, no matter how far away we are, she'll be like, she studied abroad in Europe for like a year. No matter how far apart we are, well, however many times we're apart, we'll always text each other. We'll always like FaceTime, etc. Same thing with another friend of mine. She was in Greece recently. Same thing. No matter how far apart, we'll always come back to each other. And it's just, it's that, the fact that there's people like that in my life, I'm deeply thankful for, because I don't think I'm good at reaching out. And that's something I've been working on. So yeah, it's just been, I've been fortunate enough to where there are people that show me what it means to, or what it's like to actually, you know, just send a goddamn message or just, you know,
So
stay
true.
in touch.
Yeah.
So I know how to, the sort of footsteps to follow, if you will. And there's another one in chat right there, Asahi Fran. She's also very, very good. She's a newer bunch. Actually, that's another good one. She got me into one of my friend groups that I have now in college. She straight up just like scouted me during one of our classes. It was like she like saw my setup and was like, "Oh my god, he's a streamer." And then she added me to like this Discord or whatever, and then I just became friends. That's how I got one of my first friend groups here at USC. Is all, yeah, all thanks to her. 100% all thanks to her. So pass the pick me boy. That's crazy. That's a crazy statement.
That's a
crazy. Oh
crazy
my
statement. That is a crazy
Yeah.
statement. She said
Something I'm
it.
learning new today.
But yeah, it's. I greatly appreciate all my friends, and they're incredible people. Also, I wanted to touch on this with these online friendships. Is so a lot of the times, there's a lot of like age gaps, right? Like Edo. So Josh and I are 21. Edo's turning 25. That's a 4-year gap.
God bless.
Somebody else will be on the podcast probably later in the future. One of my friends, Nick, you know him as Exodus, probably, guys. Big Toyota super guy.
Right.
Him and I are like 5 years apart, right? And
Oh my god, right.
it's like,
Totally forgot that.
there shouldn't be like in person, if you were to just meet, there'd be such a like gap between like what you're especially with how young we were when we first met, right? There would be such a gap in terms of like maturity, which I mean there was at a certain point, but also there'd be a large gap in terms of probably interest or like what's going on, like the stage you're at in life, right? But I think with being friends online and especially like liking games and having very similar interests with that gap kind of closes a little bit in terms of yeah. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, gonna be real. Did
That's a
not know
good
that,
line
like, you
right
know,
there.
like, what is?
Age gap just means new perspectives, bad or good. All are valid conversations to make and take memory of. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when have we ever mentioned, like, you know, like a little age gap between, like, me, you, and Edo? Like, it's like, it never came up.
No.
It never, we just vibed. We were here.
Yeah.
We had the same connections. We had the same conversations. We had the same shit we went through. Did not matter to us. Right, Edo?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Basically.
Yeah.
Believe me, like I already have like a lot of like gaps and such. I think like my oldest friend that I have right now, he's about to be 32, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Right.
no. It's crazy because I also known him for like almost the same time as you guys and such. And I'm just like, oh my god, now
Yeah.
I was just a kid. Now I'm the adult, and you guys are still kind of just fresh, and for me, I'm moving out of the fresh soon. So
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
when it comes to friendships, it's like it just add different perspectives, and you can
evolutions and such.
talk about different things, and I mean, you like I feel like there's also the perspective of like someone who's older and experienced more can give advice to somebody that's younger, and then maybe someone that's
Mm-hmm.
younger has experienced something like wildly different that somebody who's maybe a couple years or 3 years older like hasn't seen, or like, and then they can like shed light on that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then as as Fran points out, unless you're e-dating, don't do that. That's do not.
Yeah,
Yes,
hell no.
Crazy.
absolutely.
Oh,
Don't do
no.
it. Yeah, don't do
It
that.
goes without saying. It
That
goes
goes
without
without
saying.
saying.
Yeah, do not stop.
Absolutely. Stop. Real.
But yes,
Oh yeah. Also, of course, I mean, this should go without saying though, but verify the age first before you take the interest in someone like that. If it's gonna be in an online relationship like that,
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
be stupid.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Lord have
Oh
mercy.
yeah. As
I've
much
seen
as
made
like,
too many mistakes on
That
that.
is such like
oh
a
yeah.
line that is. There are so many problems with that. So many issues that have come over the years, and you
Oh
see it.
yeah.
You see it more so now on Twitter because people are becoming less and less afraid to speak up. Which, thank God, people are becoming more
Mm.
empowered to do so, because we need more awareness of shit like this. People being predators and stuff, because that is entirely not
Great,
okay.
Oh,
creeps,
absolutely.
all
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
And there's that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of creeps online and on the internet, and it's like there are places where people, there are cesspools just all over the internet,
Oh
and you
yeah.
got to be careful.
It's
You got to be careful. That's the thing I think we should touch on when it comes to online
oh,
friendships is
absolutely. It's like, while this is literally right here. This
Mhm.
right here is the best case scenario.
yes.
And it is not like that, for
It's not like this all the
a lot
time.
of people, and a lot of the
Yeah.
times. And yeah, it's just like, it's not like that a lot of the time. A lot of the time it can get real nasty, real ugly.
Exactly.
And you got to be safe while trying to do this thing. And I feel like we did, and we were, trusting with each other. We were safe with each other. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the time it just sucks that a lot of people don't get to experience that, because it's like, that is such the, I wouldn't even say stigma, but it's just like the mentality when, especially like, for parents, and like, like people like, wondering, because everyone now is chronically online. It's just like, you could be
Yeah.
entering into something that you have no idea, what you're entering into.
And that's the thing, you have to toe the line. I feel like when you're getting to know, becoming friends with somebody online is like, you don't know everything about them, and you have to always be aware of that. You have to always be aware of, you don't necessarily know their full intentions, right? And that's kind of how we were, like, as we first started. I think we were very aware of that. We kind of had a little bit more, we were exposed to a bit more like crazy stuff, so I think we kind of had to develop more emotional intelligence at a younger age, since we've dealt with some crazy people in the past. But anyway, I digress. The point is that like, as you first start to meet people online, is you don't want to get into like that line of parasocial. You don't. You just, it's not like you don't have like a physical contact with them, so it's not as black and white, I guess. It's a bit more intricate.
I will be bold to say this on this podcast.
Hit us.
Because I noticed this is a certain, especially back around the mid 2010s. This was a very, very huge thing around in the Discord era.
Mhm.
I guess you could say it's kind of like this still to this day, though. But for me, especially, I'm just gonna talk about in the realm of like communities in terms of content creations and stuff like that, though. But this could also apply to anything that's like outside of content creation, especially for like the type of Discord service they're in, all those sorts. So basically, I have a rule in my server And especially that like I don't partake into any other servers that has this though, because I noticed that like whenever like cases like that, when it comes to like very sus behavior happens, it's usually within the servers or basically communities that allows such behavior. Which this mm, again, it may come off as a hot take though, but just in my case, I do not ever allow with an NSFW chat or basically like NSFW like talks and stuff like that at all. I personally think that it is the biggest red flag, especially when it comes to an open community like that. Which
Yeah.
again,
Oh
you
my
don't know
God,
the
yeah.
identity of this person. You do not know the age gap. That is the one thing. Like no matter what, like
Oh yeah.
I'd avoid that shit at all costs. I don't care if it's funny
Same
to you.
here.
I don't care if it's like
Absolutely.
that type of dynamic that you have. I'm sorry, but that is something that like you just have to stay away with regardless. That's just me though.
Because it can spiral real quick. That shit can spiral so fucking fast. And again, yeah, it's like what you said. You don't know who's starting it. You don't know who's continuing to, posting the whatever, and it's like engaging in this. It can get into a real slippery slope, like real fucking quick.
Yeah.
Right. So, because like the thing is that like I won't go too much into these stories though, but I've seen like 3 to 5 twit longers, and the fact that I see 3 to 5 twit longers that are all completely different stories, they're not even related to one another, and it was within a span of a couple years. The fact that
But it was
I
like the same like topic, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like usually of like, oh, well, this person did this in this chat and such. The moderators did this. I'm just like, okay, well, all of this could have been prevented if this did not exist in the server. Like, I'm
Right.
sorry, but like, if you don't want this to happen, do not have this. I'm not saying like it will get rid of the problem completely because again, you don't know what can happen between two people that get into that type of engagement though. But for as a community-wide thing, that should not be like there to begin with though. But I don't know.
I
Some
agree.
people are just not wild enough just to build their communities like that. I'm just like, all right, well, I mean, if you want to have that stain on your name, then by all means, but it's disgusting behavior in my opinion. Yeah.
No, it's not a hot take at all. I fucking agree with you. I agree with
It
you.
is not a hot
1000%.
take.
I don't think it's a hot take.
I'm with you as well.
I don't know. I
But-
feel like, especially like in online communities and like the shit I've seen, like that's why it's just like I've cleansed my Twitter of like other people and other communities that like, I had a like, just like a little in with it's like, oh, I'm following this a little bit. But then like so much stuff has happened where it's like, I don't even want to associate. I'm not even interested in this topic anymore because of what, happened. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like, especially with online communities and stuff like that, it's just like, I don't know. You have to be like so extra cautious, and it's just like it sucks that a lot of people like take advantage. I would like to say because like a lot of people do. They take advantage of like younger people that are joining into their scene, joining into the community, whatever. And it's
That's a big problem.
fucking sucks to like hear all this shit that happens, and it's like, with like younger people or women, especially like, cause we're all in, gaming related industries, or like, we were interested in it. So it's like this stuff that happens in those industries. I don't know. It's so like the stigma, it's like, all the, oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotypes of like the communities. It's just like, it sucks that some of them are true just because of like how bad apples act and how the bad apple activity is just on blast.
Exactly. And I mean, we've also had just like an influx of it recently because there's been more people come into online and stuff like that because of pandemic.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it happens in greater frequency, and as a result, we see it more.
Oh yeah, I feel terrible for like people that kind of like started or like found their communities like online during the pandemic, because I feel like a lot of that like that shit was that was hard for people. It's like I feel like a lot of people were taken advantage of because we're all in like this super vulnerable. We're all in this like super vulnerable state where we're all inside.
Exactly.
We don't know what's fucking happening. We're all like, what is tomorrow gonna look like? Pretty much type of deal. And it's just like I feel like a lot of those things happened during that time, and a lot of stuff came out during that time that was just like really fucked up. And it's just, I don't know, man. It sucks. Again, it's like you just have to be safe. And I wish these like communities were safer and like people would do more in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's something that's like always bugged me, and it does suck because in the end it could reflect onto some people and such though. But like there are just times where it's just like you just don't know what's gonna happen, but at least you could take for the precautionary measures to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah,
And that's like the best you can do.
I agree with
Yeah.
what someone said. It's just like I don't even mention the app that I even use it sometimes, because especially just
Mhm.
like stuff that's even happened like unrelated, you know, to stuff that we're interested, but just like stuff that has happened on Discord in general. I'm just like, you know what? Like, granted, it's just like how busy I am. I don't even use like my desktop PC. I don't even like the last time I sat down and played a game on my computer was probably I would love to say a year ago. You know, where it's just like how like fucking busy I am and just like I'll usually just sit on my PlayStation instead, you know? But it's just like I'm like, if y'all want to reach me, hit me up. Here's my number. I got you. You don't need that weird Discord app. Don't even worry about it. Just hit me up on my number. I got you. You wanna
Yeah, I mean,
chat, you know?
I also try to these days I try to have a disconnect as well, just because
Oh my god, yeah. It's luckily
I
happened naturally, but like yeah. Anyway.
I
yeah, it
probably
has
need to
happened
start
naturally.
practicing that.
Um, and that's not to discredit like people who have very very wholesome and great communities. It's just that like I personally having worked a little bit in esports and also just being around for a while, I prefer to not. Uh, I don't want my professional career to be sort of centered around like this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, um, I would just rather just kind of be here from time to time and be at an arm's length away, rather than
You're doing yourself a favor for doing that, yeah.
rather than be intimately connected with it, because I feel like it's I've undergone a lot of mental stress in the past of with that sort of thing, and I don't want to go through it again.
That that was disheartening. Yeah, I remember. For some cases, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it's like, I mean, if you want to go out there, make a tight knit community on with like your streams, your content, Discord, then
I go
more power
crazy.
to you. Just be careful. Just be aware.
Yeah, definitely, and of course, like sometimes like you at arm's length for
Yeah.
some
Oh my god,
people
yeah.
that like come around and stuff like that. So,
Real.
but yeah, no danger.
Mhm.
I and every time it's just like, I think oh my god, I hate that. Like I thank the internet so much for bringing it. Like it's crazy. It is absolutely bonkers to think that without like literally the internet, these two people next to me I would not know. And I don't think I would even be where I am right here without these folks.
Yeah, and that's the thing is
Like
that
it's
like there
crazy to
you
think
can
that.
come out of it with like incredible things. Like the three of us are like very good, really really good friends, and Josh I would consider my absolute best friend. Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Like it is crazy to say that to
it can
a
happen.
in a sentence, you know.
It can happen, but it's not something that you should necessarily expect. You know what I mean? Like this is I very much think that the three of us being as good as we are, as good of friends as we are, and as trustworthy of each other as we are, is one in a million.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's not the norm by any stretch of the imagination.
You hear that, Edo? I think you're one in a million.
Oh wow. Okay. 'Cause especially considering the fact that I came around first before
It's
you.
getting
Yeah,
steamy
yeah,
in
yeah.
here. It's getting steamy in
Yeah.
here.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No biggie.
Oh no, biggie, you say?
No
Huh?
biggie.
Okay, I'll remember that one.
Okay.
I'll remember that one.
Okay, word.
Sure, sure. Hmm. Ha! Yes, yes. Well, the thing is that I as they said, it's like it's a 1 in a million chance because like I'm gonna be real. Like I originally, especially for like when I started around, like I thought I was just gonna like keep everyone at arm's length, and I mean, I guess to some extent I still do. But of course, I do have my meaningful friendships and such that I was just like, oh wow, like I actually got invested into basically getting to know Sebi, to know Josh, and also some other people that are in the chat that are also my mutuals or my supporters and stuff like that. And I didn't think it would just have that type of wavelength before. Like I entered as the online alias as EdoNinja, but surprises they do happen.
Yeah.
But of course, the one thing that of course that you all have to remember is to keep yourself well grounded for that, especially since unfortunately, because again, this could still happen as any other real life friendship, even though some people do go through change. And whether how that change is going to affect them could also impact the friendship as well.
Yep.
And that's the dangerous part
Oh,
as
yeah.
to, well, I'm sure everybody has experienced at some point, you know, uh, for this case, for basically having an online friend for having to like, for around like 5 to 6, maybe 7 years and stuff like that, have to let them go.
Yeah.
And you just, and it's crazy too, because it's like, you always wonder if they always have been like that or like whatever just occurred in their life and then they just turned into something. And it sucks because it's like,
Exactly.
especially if like you've been good friends with that person for like a while, you'd think they would not be the type of person to like, do such things. But it happens, and I don't know. I'll say this in my case though, but I don't know if any, any other friend would want to have this like type of mentality. But it's just like if there was like any type of way to like kind of save them for the path that they're going to, you would want to save them and do everything that you can. But in my case, I walked out in all friendships that I had. I usually don't have people walk out on me. I'm usually the one that's left out on people because it's just like you are not the person who I found, and I don't like the person that you're becoming. And again, we'll go for the realm of content creation and stuff like that. I've known some content creators that like have now blown up and such, and unfortunately, I've known that they've actually have utilized people, and unfortunately, I've also been used multiple times. And it's like, what happened to this passion? What happened to the actual friendships and stuff like that? What about that? It's like, like you look, no matter how big you get or whatever, like, especially with all the talents and stuff that you have, you're still not shit. You're still the same as everybody else.
Yeah, you're no better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not any better. Like, okay, like, congratulations, you got your connection to Capcom or to Square Enix and stuff like that. Okay. Like,
It's not like you're
I
out here
still know-
curing cancer, man.
like, I still known you for when you were basically like out here just like, dropping some crazy information onto some Twitch streams here and there and stuff like that. I still see you as the same person. And, it's crazy of how I've seen like multiple people. Actually, speaking of that, it's crazy because that kind of similar story that I'm just talking about is a little bit similar to basically as to the little business venture that the three of us were in for a company, quote unquote company that we were a part of before basically I started out to my own venture and basically like, Seb and Josh decided to go do their own thing. Yeah, no, I've known people for that long, and it's just it just sucks because it's like, yeah, like even though like you want to like be invested and like find a way to like save the friendship and save the person, stuff like that, you still have to keep yourself well grounded, and it's just it's disheartening, but that's just the reality of something sometimes, though, and that's just something I pray that nobody has to ever go through, though. But sometimes it may be inevitable.
I definitely think it's easier to lose yourself in online relationships and friendships if you're not careful.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But to the point of like moving forward from people, and it's the same thing, just like with in-person friendships, right? Like as you get older, there's some people that outgrow you, whether that be in a good way or a bad way, or vice versa. Like you outgrow them, and it's just you either got to let go, or they let go of you. It's the same thing. It's like you just grow apart, and
sometimes
it's like you need to make the call of like, is this really serving me any more good now, or is it just bringing me more harm, like doing more harm than good? Is this really the person that I once thought I respected or something like that. You know?
It's an easier said than done process because,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
especially like, because friendships it's already hard as is, and of course, like, if it goes to the entry level of like online relationships, I can't imagine because the biggest barrier of all that is the long distance already.
Yeah.
And just knowing as to like how someone could be online, how they acted towards you, guess what? The story eventually changes, and you just don't have that happy ending that you are picturing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not impossible to have that happy ending though, but just for some people, when they find something and when they don't have those type of values within themselves and for how they value with others, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
It is
yeah.
so
Absolutely.
easy to get
Holy
lost.
shit, yeah.
Yep.
We've
And
all.
I'm not gonna hold you guys. Like that's part of my depression of the fact that like because I am this way. I have my own sense of justice. The
Mhm.
fact that like, because I'm always there for my friends, I'm not usually there for myself. And of course, like, you know, when I need people and stuff like that, I need a lot of attention because I never just got that attention or even like, you know, even give it to myself or got it from anybody. So, you know, that's why sometimes when people hear me out, my stories are long. Sometimes I'll be talking a lot and stuff like that. And that's a rare occasion when I do that. But keeping within the topic, I just get so depressed by the fact that there are people that like they have that potential. There are people that you definitely wanted to grow with, or even if you like could not grow with, you still want to see them like have a table, have food on the table and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
you it pains me every day the fact that there are people that I thought that I could save them. I thought I could do something about it. I thought that like maybe if I didn't do this or maybe if they weren't exposed to something, this could have been saved. But I'm still trying to learn with the fact that like no matter like what you could have done, you did your best. It's just for them, your best wasn't enough. And but that's not your fault for that.
Oh my God, absolutely not. Yeah.
It's not your fault. But I'm not gonna lie, the pain for me, just like seeing people like fall to where they are now, it still hurts.
No. Oh my God,
I,
absolutely.
I
Oh, I was like, absolutely. Obviously, you don't want to see, you know, your friend that you like, either you've grown with or whatever. You obviously don't want to see them fall on their face.
you don't.
Right.
You obviously don't want to do that. And I've seen like, we've seen it. We've seen it. You've seen it. Sebi's seen
Yeah.
it. I've seen it. And in
Both
our
with,
own
both with online friends and people
and
in real life.
personal. It's just like it's so hard to watch them do that because it's like you will try everything in your ability. Like obviously that I feel like that's human nature at that point where it's like you want to do everything in your every fiber of your being to try and help them and see them succeed and take that extra step.
Exactly. But it's like at a certain point, it's on them
It's
to make the effort.
Yeah, it's like you can try all you
can't
want.
fix them.
You can't fix it. That's why I like
Also,
can't.
that's a good new podcast topic idea: cutting ties and making amends. Yes, I think we should. That's something we can bring up with each of our guests.
Oh yeah. See, loving them means letting them go as well. Yeah. I like that, Fran. Loving them means letting them go as well for yourself because it's like
Exactly.
on both sides. Obviously, you don't want to see them go through this, and at a certain point, it's a personal journey where, like, as much as you helped, you can't do it all. But also, it's like you have to stop expending your energy at the same time
Yes,
for your
yes.
own mental well-being.
100%.
Can't keep doing that to yourself.
You
You
cannot
know?
sync with them.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
can't.
Yeah,
They're
correct.
already a sinking ship. You can't sync with them.
And
You're
it
not
That's
there.
the
sucks.
thing. If you spend too much time trying to fix them, you're gonna sync with them.
Yeah, and it's just like it just sucks because it's like that's the thing. It's just like you need to know when to let go, and it's fucking sucks. I'm gonna tell you right now, it fucking sucks.
Every time it sucks.
It's
Fucking
never-
sucks
it's
every
never
single
any easier.
time. It's
never
never
any easier.
easy.
Friendship and relationship, it hurts
Either
a lot.
one.
Oh my god,
one.
yeah, and it's never gonna get easier. That's why it's
And
like
it's
I think
probably exponentially harder with relationships too, because it's probably somebody that you
grew
Ideally,
with,
right?
cared
It's somebody,
with,
someone that you grew with and cared about for a very long time and
Yeah.
cared about intimately.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like
Assuming
that's
you're not a
why.
psychopath, obviously.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what we're gonna touch on a lot. Like, we always sneak it in there. Me and Sebi are gonna talk about it every time. We're probably gonna bring it up with we're bringing it up now with Edo and our guest, but it's just like it's just so hard with relationships to do that. Harder even. With
You just
in
don't
that
want
case.
like especially at that relationship level, you just do not want them to see them suffer.
Oh my god,
And
no.
but it's like no matter what you do and such, like this is the choices that you made, and in a way, like it's something that you kind of just have to respect. And it's like, is this really worth saving for? Especially like because again, you don't know the future. You don't know if they're actually gonna get better. So it's like, why take that risk? Why take that chance? You
Yeah.
know.
No. Oh my god. Absolutely.
So
Yeah, like learning when to cut ties is obviously. Yeah, I'm just speaking for Fran. She's the genius over here. Learning when to cut ties is obviously the fucking hardest. It sucks. And yeah, even like setting those boundaries in an initial, like, before you cut ties or when you're trying to fix it or whatever, it's such an awkward thing, but it's so needed. And I feel like I'm learning that a lot more recently is like the boundary, not even conversation, but just
yes,
setting them for yourself.
yeah.
Like setting boundaries for yourself is just,
Yep,
it's so
absolutely.
awkward and it's so hard, and like it gets a little easier every day, but it's like
That's something I've
sad.
had to learn also is setting boundaries. Is
Oh my god, yeah.
like if I don't feel comfortable, it's okay. I don't
Oh
have
my
to
god,
like
yeah.
try to
You don't owe
make
anybody
myself
anything.
feel comfortable. Exactly. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
don't.
You don't want to make yourself uncomfortable. You don't want to make someone else uncomfortable. Stuff like that.
And that's something I've talked to both you guys about. Is
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago, is I had people like really infiltrate like many parts of my life, and I didn't like it.
Oh my
I didn't
god,
know how
man.
to. I didn't have the experience necessarily to like because I had been fortunate enough to have people that were very respectful of boundaries, and I didn't have like much experience with people trying to encroach on it. And that's when I had to learn to like, you know what, it's okay to be like, I'm not okay with this.
I
And
remember.
I think
I was
also
there.
college
Yeah.
Oh
taught
yeah.
me that too because um it's been a big thing recently. And I'm glad that it is a big thing. It's a big focus now is to respect other people's boundaries and their like needs and whatnot. And you have to know what people are comfortable with
Yeah.
because you're all coming from very different backgrounds. You know?
No, I remember. There are times like you didn't say some things, but I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? That's why I'm here. I'm going to fight on your behalf, even though
Yeah.
maybe at times I probably shouldn't have, but I don't regret it because I didn't care because it's like I already know you were uncomfortable by certain people. I'm just like, no, sorry, I don't fucking take that shit.
Oh yeah, no,
No,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I will trust me. They both know. When I fight with my
Oh
everything,
yeah,
and
you
I'm
do.
very aggressive.
Yeah.
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 So, and the thing is that like, for that type of nature, like I like to believe that like I try to like meet that ground level of understanding because it's like we're at the same level, we're at the same ground and stuff like that. So it's like I can come off I can't come off cross aggressive, but of course I have my own intentions just for like the safetyness for myself and of course for the people that I care about and such. Um, so it's like if I had to go to that aggressive level and such, that's not a good sign. That's usually never a good sign, and I will say that's something that like I probably should have to practice for myself because of course there was this one person that he overstepped my boundaries multiple times. Multiple times. And I went through a lot of gaslighting of the fact that like, I crossed his boundaries even though like I was showered with a lot that like, oh, I've been very respectful. I've been this sort of way and such. I'm not like the people in his past and stuff like that. All to be finally met with it's like, oh no, like now you're disrespecting my boundaries and stuff like that. And it's just like you never communicated that with me about that. I've always been open ended with you about that. So and it's so hard because like I was not aggressive about it when I should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like for me, I always fight for my friends. I always fought for the people that have supported me to like see where they want me to be. I just have a hard time doing that for myself, especially if it's people that I'm so close to, especially that again, I'm watching the sinking ship.
Oh yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
it hurts a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm getting I'm doing the same thing. Like, I fight so much for other people. I need to start like, fighting for myself. And I feel like recently I have been, but it's still fucking hard. Like it was funny. I was out, with my friend needed something. He's stopping by my house real quick. He was picking something up, and I caught up with him really second. Like anytime he comes to my house and he's in a rush or picking something up or whatever, I catch him for like a minute. I'm like, "Dog, let me tell you this thing. Let's catch up for 2 seconds." And it was funny because I was like, "Dude, you won't believe this." Then he was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Dude, I've been working my butt off for the past couple days, and I'm seeing this person and whatever." And I was just like, I put my foot down. I'm tired. They asked me to, oh, let's go do something. Let's go hang out. And I was like, I'm tired. I have work. I need that second to myself. I don't want to push myself for other people. I'm taking that second. And while it felt weird, I was like, no, I got to relax tonight. I can't go out, whatever. And it was just like, it was so funny because he was like, hell yeah, dude, good for you. That's what I like to hear.
It's like it's okay to say no.
It's totally okay to say no and set those boundaries. But it's like, as you're saying, it's like, we got to work for ourselves. And it still feels a little weird to do it. But it's like, it's nice every day because you know what? I got a good night's sleep. I got some work done. I got a good night's sleep. I relaxed,
Yeah. Big ups to the people that when you say no because of like, you're not feeling too hot or whatever, respect that also,
Oh my God. Yeah. The respect you receive, like, oh my God.
They don't, if they can, be okay with you saying no, and then they don't be like always on top of your ass afterward is feels good.
Yeah, I've actually had to teach two of my friends. One of them I'm very close to. The other one, he's still struggling it to this day though. But like, he's learning day by day though. But like, both of them, for the traits that they both similarly share, they have a lot of social anxiety, and of course for their upbringing and stuff like that I won't go too much into. It makes sense, and I see that, which of course, as you guys know me, I'm very aggressive for that. When I like, whenever I need to suss somebody out, it's just like, nope, I know that you want to take advantage of this person like this, but what I do, because I've done it to both of them. One of them a little bit recently, the other one was like way back in the past, but like now, like she tells me no, and I'm just like, oh my God, you told me no. Thank God. I'm so proud of you. There was a time that I really try to like make myself dead serious. I'll bring this one example. I was just like, hey, give me your Twitter account. And I try to say it so serious, like I'm not even joking. I'm like, no, give me your Twitter account right now. Give me the login credentials. I want to post something. Yeah, no, I did that. Putting that that type of like intimidating voice, and especially like for the demand. And of course she struggles saying no because like I'm a close friend. I'm like, okay, all right, we're gonna take it from 5. We're gonna try that again. And then she was just like, wait, what was that? I'm just like, you're supposed to say no to me. The fact that you actually thought about that has me concerned.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like sometimes I'll throw her off and be like, hey, like I want to do this and stuff like that though. But like it was not like for me to like, make her uncomfortable. It's just like, look, I'm one of your closest friends and I appreciate that though. But like you also need to say no to me. Because
oh my God, yeah.
You are low on energy. I can already tell. You're going through a whole lot. And it's like, again, like if you need that time to yourself, you don't have to be in the calls with myself and the group of friends and stuff like that. And over time, like, yeah, no, she basically grew that backbone, and like, now she sometimes talks shit to my face, and I'm just like, yes, no, don't put me on that pedestal. We are on that same ground level. I love this for you.
That's
yes.
Hell yeah.
And the other one, he's still struggling though, but like, hey, like now, like sometimes like, he'll just be like, you know what, your idea is stupid. I'm just like, you're telling to me as is. I love this respect. Thank you so much. You understand my boundaries. And now like your boundaries are also like being recognized and such. So it's just like, that's what I do. That's what I basically help people like, to kind of like just grow, just like, just communicate that, because I'm very like direct with my problems and very direct with my boundaries, but it's just like, I'm trying to help people just be on that wavelength. So it's just like, there's no miscommunication. There's no errors of any of the sorts, and nothing is left out. Especially that one, because a lot of this can get left out for people. That circulates for people talking about other people behind their backs and stuff like that when it's not communicated. And that creates so much exhaustion. So, but no, that's, it's kind of funny because like that's kind of how I help people, like, grow and of course like maintain that like good establishment of the relationship, and
Mhm.
no one has to overthink, because I know what it's like
Right.
to overthink. I'm running
Oh,
high on anxiety all the time, and I can
real.
understand how my friends can be that way. So yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's totally okay to say no, and I'm starting to learn
Mhm.
that more, recently. Where it's just like,
Good.
where
Good.
it's like, I would, at this, let's throw an example out there. It's like, work at, long day, school, work, I have homework, whatever. I'm working on my own projects. And then it's like, I'm definitely like, I know I'm tired at the end of the day. I know it's like, I need that second to myself. And like someone that's like, yo, let's go do something, or hey, come over, like, oh, let's go on a date, whatever, like any scenario. And I know like deep in the back of my head, it's like, I need to say no to this. Like, it's like, I am obviously so spent, and I would still say yes.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that I'm okay with saying no now, where someone's, I know I have these past 11 days, I've worked 11 days straight, like almost 12 hours a day. And I wanted to like literally at a, with work, I worked 5 days at work, and then I went 4 days on set, and then I went 2 more days on at work. And by day 11, it was crazy because I was feeling my battery. Like I was falling asleep at work, and I work at a restaurant. There ain't no way I should be falling asleep at work.
Oh god. Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, like I was feeling the dead. Like I was feeling like I'm hitting my last leg. And I get that text.
Ooh.
It's like, hey, let's go do something tonight. Let's go hang out, whatever. And I'm just like, girly, I can't. Girly, I cannot. And it's just like, it's nice saying no now, it's like I'm getting more used to it. And it's like, sometimes when you need it, you just got to say no. And it's nice to also feel that, like what y'all were saying, like for them to respect you too. After that, like that's what's really validating too. It's like, oh my God, I can say no. I'm okay with it. It's okay to say no sometimes, where it's like, oh my God, of course, I just thought I'd throw it out there just in case, but obviously, like I respect that. That's awesome. Like get the rest you need, blah, 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 blah.
And if they say if they complain about it, actually get upset by that, or
Now
try to
that's,
guilt you in any type of way,
yeah, that's crazy.
get away.
That's crazy.
That's the
Lie.
problem.
That's
a problem.
That's the
Nar.
problem right there. Yeah, nar. That's the
No.
problem right there. That's like, and with like anxiety and stuff like that. That's what I was always fear. I'd be like, oh, they don't, now they're gonna get upset that I said no, and it's like I always gotta please everyone and say yes, and it's just like no. No, if you're around good company, they're gonna you're gonna get
They'll
that
support
respect,
you.
and they're
They'll
gonna
just be
support
hey,
you
like,
and all that
take
stuff.
your time to support, and
Exactly.
let us know, like give me a call if you need to talk or something like that. If not, like we'll let you be.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Too, you simply cannot see certain people every day who drain you socially. Facts. That's
Yeah.
true.
So true.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sometimes what I like to do, I personally like do this in like most of my friendships and stuff like that though. But like, especially like to when we had like the deep conversations, I'm just like, hey, like everything okay? Is everything okay with us? Like, are there issues that you want to bring up with me and stuff like that? I
Mm,
I don't do it as much though, but like sometimes I'll just like, cause I would notice that if someone is acting off, it's just like, hey, like we cool, right? Like if something is up,
not the
then
battery.
yeah, to talk to me. I get it. It's intimidating to talk about these problems, but it's just like it's you're making yourself suffer by like and poisoning yourself if you keep it silent. You know,
Mhm.
if you guys are really friends, you guys can talk about these issues and then squash it, or if not, you guys grow apart and it's handled amicably as much as possible. Oh my,
Absolutely.
you are gone. He
Audio
is
listeners,
gone.
audio listeners, we appreciate you guys.
I had to
Josh's
change the
camera
battery.
battery just died.
I had to change
So
the
we're
battery.
back.
Oh
We're
my
back
bad,
now,
y'all.
though.
That's how you know we've been going forever.
You don't
That's
have
okay.
No,
I don't know where my
He
dummy
doesn't have the
battery is.
dummy.
I don't know where it
lost
is.
it.
I lost it. I gotta find it. I gotta dig it out of storage or something.
Ugh.
But anywho,
But
Yeah.
yeah, do we have any other last minute additions we want to make to the to what we've said so far? I feel like we've covered a lot
We've covered
and
so
covered all
much.
very important things that can be applied both on online friendships and in person friendships.
oh my God, yeah.
All very important things.
If nothing is said, I would like to again, thank you, Edo.
Yeah, thank you
like
for being with us.
for being with us, for putting up with us for the past 7+ years.
Yeah.
God damn. And
Also, by the way, thank you for coming on short notice because this we originally were gonna have a different guest. However,
We're silly, goofy people and so busy and don't
I
know what we're
noticed.
doing.
couldn't
It's
couldn't
really
make
just
it,
me.
so
really just
it
me.
was. But yeah,
But
this was
anyhow,
a long time coming, and it happened, and it happened in
happened.
the I
And
think
we
it
were-
happened in the best way possible.
I think it
This was
happened in
great.
definitely the best way
I'm
possible. And we
actually
talked
This was
about some
great.
great stuff.
Yeah.
They
Well, you guys
originally
know,
Fran in
it's-
chat goes, yeah, they originally wanted me, but my rates were
Yeah,
too
Fran's
high.
rates
Yeah,
were too. We couldn't afford it.
We couldn't afford the Starbucks, or sorry, we couldn't afford the boba.
Yeah, we
The
couldn't.
Well,
boba fee.
see, I love these two, so you know they got the free discount from me. So
We
you
did.
know,
If
it's
we
not
want
like
them on
I'm
again,
not
we gotta
trying.
pay them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
We
10,000
gotta give them that
minimum.
rate. 10,000
That's the
minimum an
asking
hour.
price.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Just
asking.
saying
That's the
now.
asking price for them. No, but truly, Edo,
Oh.
it was so nice to have you on.
No,
Years in the making. Years with putting up
Yeah.
with our shit, putting up with each other's shit. Real.
yeah,
Actually.
believe me, I've been there through it all.
Oh yeah.
I'm used to it, but it's okay because you know I love you too.
It's crazy.
And you know,
7 to 8 years.
yeah, 7 to 8 years and stuff like that. Like, you know, I had to make the time for this. And of course, you guys know that I've been supportive for you guys' podcast and
Oh
stuff
my
like
god,
that.
yeah.
So,
We appreciate
Yes,
for
it.
your
sir.
guys' endeavors. And I want you guys to win as much as that I'm trying to win as well.
Damn straight. We want
So,
you to
yeah.
win as much as possible too. We want you to get there.
Thank
We
you.
love what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
We love
We
what
wanna
you're
see you
doing. We're
reach new
always gonna
heights.
support you,
Always.
dude.
That's
I'll
that's
do
always
my
been
best
that's
to
always
honor
been us,
that.
guys. For you guys that don't know, it's always been our dynamic. We're always giving advice to each other and vice versa.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We always
And we will always support what we talked about last episode. We're always gonna support
Yeah.
each other. We like that.
and we're always real with each other. If one of us is doing some dumb shit, we get called.
We're gonna
out.
call out. We're gonna call y'all out,
Yes.
and we're gonna get called out. Damn straight.
Mhm.
I'll tell you
That's
right now,
right.
Edo has called me on my shit so much,
Oh, yes.
so much.
Yes, I have. hmm
Some silly, goofy,
Nothing-
but some serious. You know.
It never escapes
He's-
my eyes though. But of course, like, you know, he
Mhm.
knows that I mean all well and stuff like that.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, I got to keep it real. So
Real? Always.
otherwise, it's like, you
That's another thing,
don't
too.
want. Yeah, no, you don't want to have friends that only just like, because again, you do want friends to support you, but you don't want the friends that put you on a pedestal to where it's like you're
Oh,
this type of
absolutely not.
savior. You have that god complex.
Oh fuck no.
Just,
Yeah.
just to like wrap this up for this way, I've noticed for like some friendships that I have, people have viewed me as that type of like that gives me that savior complex vibes when it's
Yeah.
like I've experienced a lot, I know a lot, and I've done a lot. Yes, but the thing is that like even though like I may be all those sort of things to you like in your life, I'm also a person at the end of the day, which of course like because I don't talk, a lot of people get really surprised. It's like what actually runs in my head, what's actually going on with me, and it's just like whoa. Okay, I didn't expect that. It's like, well, I'm a person too, and of course, I am also gonna make my mistakes. I also have my flaws, my shortcomings, and stuff like that. And
yeah.
that's the thing. If you don't have those friends to like constructively back you up on that, and especially like you know like help you to set you straight and with each other, then it's not a real friendship in my opinion.
Mm-mm.
Like
Yeah,
because
they have to be
expect
comfortable
you-
being real with you.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely.
if they cannot like give you that ground level of respect of the fact that like you're a person as well, and if they only just like expect you to like save them from all their problems and stuff like that, but especially if you need something from people and such, and especially like just one small thing that you usually do not ask for, again, run.
Yeah,
That's not real friendship.
Mm.
that's
And
facts.
unfortunately, like I had a 10-year friendship that I didn't realize that I had the savior complex to him. And that faded away when the pandemic happened because like you know he wanted to hang out and I told him I'm not comfortable right now with the pandemic conditions. There was a lot of guilt trips and stuff like that, and a lot of petty acts were made, and it's just like wow, all that 10 years of those friendships just 10 years down to the drain just because that I said that I did not feel comfortable of hanging out because
that's
of the
crazy.
pandemic and such. And it's just crazy because it's just like I'm sounding my boundaries. I'm speaking from my own truth about how I give my constructive criticism to people and stuff like that. And yeah, no, it's crazy how people will actually villainize you for that.
That's insane. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, you always want to have people that set that straight with you. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's a great way to end it.
I think it's a great way to, absolutely fantastic way to end it.
Fantastic send-off.
So thank you guys so much for listening to the three of us this week. with our
Yes.
special guest Edo.
Our first guest.
Our first guest, we did it
Oh.
after.
There will be
many
And
more.
soon to return.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
We'll
yes,
have y'all.
for
We'll
sure.
have him
Come
back.
back.
He'll be back.
He will indeed be back. Guys,
But-
it has been a pleasure. Thank you for all of you who watched live. I appreciate it. We had
We appreciate
I
you
think
so much. We peaked. I think we peaked,
think we-
y'all.
Yeah. This was our current peak, guys. We had
Yeah.
just for reference, we had the highest concurrent viewership on this one. It was 17, and then there was
That's crazy. Yeah, it's been
that's
nice.
great.
Thank you
I'm
guys
so
so much.
happy for you
And as
guys.
we say, we said this last time, and in the Taylor, and we're gonna, at least I'll say it every episode. Thank you again for letting us just be vulnerable and be
Yes.
open with you guys. You guys are so kind and respectful as we do that, and we really appreciate it being in this like vulnerable spot for an hour a week.
we may
really
make it look
appreciate it.
easy for us to like bare our hearts, but it is hard. It is hard.
But
for
I'm
sure.
telling you right now, it's hard, but it's getting easier. As we said last week too,
Yeah.
1% every day is all we ask,
Absolutely.
And, we appreciate it. But thank you so much for watching and listening. If you
Next
are
week
not
we'll
watching
try
it
to have
live,
a guest. We'll try to have a guest.
We'll try
let
our
you guys know
hardest.
for sure
We'll see.
if there is or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you in the chat right now,
Thank you guys.
there's the link for the podcast. This will be up on Spotify.
it's on Spotify
YouTube,
and Apple Podcasts
Apple
after the
Podcasts.
word. Thank you for tuning in live. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple,
We love
thank you. We love you. Thank you. Check us out. We're late night drives everywhere.
And give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars. No, I'm just kidding.
Give it 5 stars.
But
Or
thank
I'm gonna
you.
come at you.
See, Edo, yeah, see, I won't come after you, but Edo will. And that's even
Edo will,
worse.
Edo
And
will.
that's worse.
Yeah, when you got the guest coming after you, that's crazy.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It'd be
thank you
like
guys so much for being respectful and letting us be vulnerable and letting us chat with you
been
and
a
have a
pleasure, guys.
conversation. Edo, do you want to say any couple last words before we send off for the night?
Yes. Just 2 things. First
Hit
of
me.
all, as we've already like expressed in this podcast multiple times, know your guys' worth, especially
Damn
because you guys
straight.
are not worthless. Unless you've done some things to to people that have done a lot for you, then yes, you're shitty. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. So one thing, know your worth, and of course, like have your healing, do your boundaries and stuff like that. Second of all, of course, this podcast, I expect it to definitely go far. So I hope you guys definitely, give it the proper 5 stars that it deserves and all the support that it definitely earns. And of course, if you guys are interested in my case, of course, like again, we have the Phantom Visionaries and such. I will post the link on the chat.
Yep.
And of course, if you just want to like follow my Twitter and stuff like that, because I just talk some shit. I talk shit here and there, but then
You
I
do,
also
you
post
do.
some pretty stuff. And
You
I
do.
don't know if you guys know this, but especially for people in the chat and Sam and Josh knows, I have been responsible for a lot of the Persona mock-ups as of recently, and it's so crazy how I've been fooling people left and right for like special limited editions and stuff like that, concepts for the PS5
Yep.
and such. So
You may
That's
see
so
him on
true.
Twitter here and there.
Crazy.
I'm that guy that's been fooling people on the internet, and I'm still gonna do it. And am I sorry?
No,
Yeah,
you're
maybe
not.
a little bit,
No,
but
you're not.
hey, it'd be like that.
You're not sorry,
Yeah.
Edo.
Did I log out? No.
That's okay.
We will have
We'll get it.
we'll have
We'll have that stuff.
everything
Edo
of his
Ninja.
linked
Oh my.
on the YouTube description as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts description, so you guys can check them out if you like.
But yeah.
Did I
Seb, you
log
wanna
out?
send us out?
Yeah.
Send us off?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for joining us on this late night drive. It's been an absolute pleasure. Your destination is on the right. Take care.
Have a good night,
a
y'all.
wonderful rest of your night.
Have a good
Peace.
night, y'all. Peace.